Hello, everybody, and welcome along to the race you may have been waiting for. March Madness at Baku, and guess what? For the first time in RPL history, in F1 cars, whether it be Tier 3, Tier 2, Tier 1, this time being Tier 2, we have a sprint around the streets of Baku, and round 6 of the season starts our second half of the season with quite the spectacle to it. If you include our qualifying sessions, drivers will be partaking in over 40 laps of action tonight. On track, battling, on track to set a lap ahead of the battling. And last week, Night Owl pulled the gap in the championship even more. Now the question becomes, can he pull it even more than that? Or will Reese Dainty give him quite the fight? Nonetheless, it's time to find out with the sprint race, our first and only sprint of the season, starting very soon before our main event. I'm your commentator for tonight, Ryan, and it's nice to have you guys join us for Azerbaijan. We ran here in Tier 3 not terribly long ago. We ran here in Tier 1 very recently, and we had two F2 races on this game at this track. So this should be a ton of fun. And add more madness into it. You have a sprint race tonight. And that will definitely make things a bit more interesting with that being said. We spoke about the championship very, very, very briefly. But let's tell you more about it here in just a moment. So, the gap at the top of the table. Night Owl leads Reese Dainty by 26 points. Torn Penguin is 42 points back. F1 Schwartz is 54 points back. 20 drivers have scored points thus far this season. And there's two constructors that have not scored. Haas and Kick Sauber. Red Bull lead the constructors. They are ahead by 20 points. Ahead of Ferrari. McLaren are 41 points back. It seems like they're starting to slowly but surely claw their way back. You need to have a few things go right for them, but that could all change in a blink of an eye, especially around these streets. So, let's tell you about last weekend's race back in Silverstone. We have race winner Night Owl for Ferrari. F1 Schwartz finishing second, tying his career best finish. Mentoki, she has had quite the season, up and down, all around. And for her, she got her second podium of the season. Besides that, she only had a best finish of P8. Besides those two podiums. Also, in terms of last week's race, it was F1 Schwartz on pole position, stealing it from the home favorite, Reese Dainty. And we'll find out who does get on pole tonight, because you also have not just regular qualifying, but you have sprint qualifying as well to go with it. Sprint qualifying, I want to say it's about 6 to 8 minutes less. It's not letting me invite this guy. Hopefully Bar2 can get in here. Yes, he can. Perfect. I'll add him on EA now. Since it's not well, I already have him, apparently. Unless it's just simply not letting me add him. I already have him. We are going to ready up now for the event, but let's tell you about some headlines, penalties, and changes since we did go over last week's race. So, Congratulations to our Tier 3 winner, AMS Devon. Isha and Invade have contracts for next season. Isha in the Williams, Invade in the Sauber full-time. Invade moving up to Tier 2. For tonight's race, here are where the drivers are at. In that Mercedes tonight alongside Mentoki, AMS Wards. I guess it seems like he's a friend of F1 Shorts, but he is the youngest driver in the field. 13 years old. Lennon did not press spectate this time. He will be able to race, and his season has been filled with ups and downs as well, like Mentoki says. A best finish of only 6th so far this season. But to Lennon's credit, he does have a fastest lap to go with it. So, overcast conditions for sprint qualifying. And like we were saying, folks, let's keep going over these headlines. We have Goodman's in the Sauber, compared to usually being before until he got demoted to Sauber in the Haas. Isha in the Haas. This is full-time, by the way. Beatnik's still not here. Or, sorry, J&T still not here again this week. So it's Beatnik in the V-Carb filling in for him. I think drivers have just figured out their weather. Since you saw the timer reload. It is dry in every single session. Thank you very much, Lennon. Wavy Knife in the Aston Martin tonight. It was this race 2 seasons ago. He had quite the qualifying and quite the finish in the race. Now with the sprint, you got 2 chances this time. Bar 2K in the Haas. I believe this is his 2nd start. This is one of Invade's newer drivers. Before Isha went full-time in the Haas, when Goodman's went down to Sauber, Invade had no full-time Haas. Now there's 2 Haas's in tonight's field. And remember, Haas and Sauber, the only 2 teams yet to score points this season. And we do have a car going out on the track. It is RPL Zakaria, our commentator from yesterday's race in Mexico. In fact, V-Carb have had some good luck around this circuit. Go back to Tier 1. In our first ever race here for the tier, it was HX4K taking the victory here when they were known as Toro Rosso. Night Owl on the track. AMS Wards on the track for what looks to be, in the Mercedes, his RPL debut. And is there a better place to make your debut? I'm not sure. But one thing I can tell you, with one McLaren being out on the track, is that this race 2 seasons ago, when Josh 4333 won, Ferrari had both cars up there, Mercedes had both cars up there, but McLaren, they were pointless in this race. And if they want to have a chance at the Constructors' Championship to finish out this season, they cannot allow themselves to have that happen again tonight. But, brand new season. Also, with the sprint this time, so we know a lot can happen, and a lot will happen. It's just a matter of time before it all does happen. RPL Zakaria in the V-Carb, probably one of the slowest cars on the straights, starting a lap now. And you'll see him on the ERS management on medium. Then he'll switch it to hot lap right now. DRS applied. And we'll ride on board with the V-Carb driver from the Netherlands and see what he reaches into turn 1. 206 before he lets off. A little lock up there from the Dutchman. No harm, no foul, they would say, right? There's nobody out on the track, though, on the soft compound, so we'll take you off the tires. Zakaria boosting out of turn number 2. Down the straight, and these first 3 corners are 90-degree left corners. But we have witnessed drivers run into trouble here in the past in these sections. Most notably, Season 11 on this game. HSR Gecko crashed out on the first lap of the 3rd corner. Sector 1 complete for Zakaria. 34.8 from the Dutchman. 90% in this battery. He's going to use a bit of it out of here, but in terms of his battery management, I'm sure he'll learn something now and then say, look, maybe I got a little bit too much ERS left, but One thing I do want to talk about in terms of that ERS is you want to have a lot of it left for the straight, especially because we have had photo finishes in this game at this track. Jack Miles, the birthday man, league owner, happy birthday. He won out on a photo finish with Cookie in Season 11 of F1 around this circuit. And recently, Alex Norris beat Lyra Fusion for the Tier 3 victory around the circuit as well. Again, that's why I say ERS is going to matter. Yellow flags, that is a Haas off the circuit, and that is Isha now reversing onto the track and hopefully not going to get disqualified here. But we go back to Zakaria. 14-1 in that middle sector. It was purple, but again, was the only driver to go through it so far. Depleting all that battery, below 20%. Across the line for the Dutchman, the benchmark is a 38.8. And considering that's on medium compound tires, that's not terrible. 38.6 from Night Owls. He takes back the top spot once again in an RPL weekend. AMS Awards, our next one on debut to cross. And what will this be? 38.8. Not bad. I cannot remember what country that is for the living life of me. I think Louis J.A. was the last one from that country. F1 Shorts across the line next. The Dutchman who sat on pole last week, but now at the sprint, we'll have to see what he can do. And with Park Ferme now being on, a late announcement. 38.0 from Shorts, fastest. Lennon next. And he won round 6 last season. This is round 6 this season. And Lennon is only 3rd, but not bad. Mintoki, our slowest runner across the line. We have Lyra Fusion crossing. He'll complete a lap now as well in the McLaren deployment used. And across the line he comes. He's now the slowest instead of Mintoki. Torn Penguin crossing. Miami winner. Pole sitter, 2 races last season. 6th place. And more yellow flags. That is for another Haas. That is Isha this time. Let's look at the castle section with Beatnik. Korsman crashed out here from the lead in the Tier 1 race back in Season 11. And we've had utter chaos in that castle section in past times. Ooh, Beatnik clips the barrier right there. Go back to F2, their early days back in Season 4. Season 3 of Tier 1. We've had many castle section pile-ups in the past, and although it's not as common nowadays, I would not be surprised to see one happen tonight. That Ferrari, I believe, is crossing line for starting another lap. I don't know if that's Night Owl or Lennon, but we'll find out soon. The other Ferrari, though, is running out of fuel and causing yellow flags. Beatnik now, running out of deployment, crossing the line. For the V-Carb, he will be slowest. Reese Dainty, Bar 2K. So the next drivers to come across the line. Bar 2 is coming up next. And what will it be from the Haas driver? This looks to be slowest, and it is. But, again, you'll get 2 goes at this from what things look like in qualifying. And as Lennon said, some drivers will be waiting until the last 2-3 minutes to go out on the track and do something about their times. The good things for some of these drivers is that they do have times on the board, so if they do invalidate their last run, they do have something to back it up at least. And in terms of our past 2 sprints, Mintoki on pole, George on pole. But the driver who took pole in a sprint in our last 2 sprints went on to finish top 2 in the sprint. And Mintoki is still undefeated in terms of podiums in a sprint race weekend. I should say sprint race, specifically. But across the line now, Reese Dainty comes. 2nd place in the championship. 2nd place on our board. 4.5 minutes to go. Let us know if you have any predictions. Isha, now our slowest driver. I don't think Beatnik's on another lap, but Night Owl, I believe, was the one I was talking about. He is coming back to the pit lane. And this is another thing to talk about tonight. The pit lane. A tricky thing there. Why? You got to keep it within the white lines, and if you don't, you'll end up like NRX Flynn. NRX Flynn won this race for Haas back in Season 7, and lost it in the steward's room due to crossing the pit line entry like that. And that would have been Haas's only victory in any RPL tier. Still the only team not to win at all. Zakaria mentioning Shorts and Reese in another league right now. But Wavy Knife, moments ago, retired from the session. And I'm going to wonder, was this due to a qualifying ban? I don't know, but regardless, Wavy Knife starting last, 14th in our field. We've had some crazy races around this circuit regardless of the amount of drivers in it. There was one time we had about like 6 or so finishers at this circuit. Whether it be F2, Tier 2, Tier 1 had that happen as well. Baku's had some chaotic times, and you know what? Although it's a smaller field tonight, do not be fooled whatsoever. These drivers love to dish it out, whether it's lap 1 or lap 26. Yellow flag sets for Reese Dainty entering the pit lane with probably no fuel. My co-com, who usually would be here tonight, is telling you guys in the chat that you smell. That's Faded Knights. Well, Faded, you did commentate this race last time, and I was not here for it, but how about that Josh win? Josh 433 won the race. His last win in F1 cars to date in RPL. Vodka Redfire were 2 and 3 that day. And by the way, Reese Dainty, I just want to mention it before we start these final flying laps, which everyone is starting to go out in the queue on the circuit. Mintoki will have to be very careful about this, so will the other drivers too, who need to get out of the way when that time does come. Reese this season has not started, whether it's going to be a sprint right now or a main race. It's not started below P3. We'll see if that streak continues. Riding aboard with the South Korean now. On pole, the last time we had a sprint. Could she back that up with 2 in a row? A little slide there into turn 2, but clunks the wall. Keeps going anyway. Overtake on use. Now, down to turn 3. Not much traffic in front of her. Won't be a factor. And luckily, if she has an issue on this lap, she can recharge and go again. Now, messing with the battery. Hitting the wall while doing that. A slide out of the corner. Hitting the wall again from Mintoki. Is the time up? Yes, it is. 3.5 tenths from the South Korean. Now, the chicane enters Sector 2, which is a little tricky for the drivers, but now you go to heavy braking turn 7. Remember when Hulkenberg clunked the wall there? I've had a moment there with Leon in this game cycle. Reese Dainty retires from the session. I don't know what happened to him, but Reese Dainty will not get back out there in time to start a final flying lap. But Mintoki is now going to exit Sector 2 and go into Sector 3. The sector split is approaching her way with one more corner to go before going there. Big lockup from the South Korean, by the way. Changing gears, she's 3.5 tenths up still, so she did not find any sort of time in this middle sector, but she almost went out of bounds right there. That could have been costly. Luckily, wasn't that time. Now, these fast corners. No braking right there, but fast corners. Some would call it a chicane, some would call it the S's, but that's it. To the line. What's it going to be? Battery, lots of it on use. Mintoki didn't find time. Looks like she's going for another one. Our next car to cross the line is a Haas. That'll be bar 2 starting a lap. And he did get to the line just in time to start this lap. Beatnik is up by 2 tenths. Lero Fusion, I believe, is getting towed along by the teammate. Torn Penguin up by 5 tenths. Ward's invalidated, but he has a chance to go again, and he's already going once more. Zakaria, 26 thousandths up. Night Owl, finding time. Checkered flag, F1 Shorts coming through as well. He was the one saying that he would be most affected by Parc Fermé on tonight. A little last-minute change, because no matter what happens with Parc Fermé on or off, the new update to the game on Monday apparently retires your car no matter what if you try to take control. So that's a huge issue. We'll keep an eye on that tonight. Goodmans is going to be starting second to last. Invalidated lap time. Next across the line will be Beatnik, the American driver who got on the podium yesterday in Tier 3. The tier races in full time. Zakaria's third. Unbelievable lap from the V-Carb. Can Beatnik replicate that of any sort? 5th place. Not bad right there. Next up is Torn Penguin, who is amazing in the 1st and 2nd sector. Torn Penguin right now goes to provisional sprint pole. Can anybody say anything about it? Next up's the Ferraris, Night Owl and Lennon. Lennon only 2nd. Shorts goes fastest, but by a huge margin. Is Night Owl gonna better it? No! AMS Wards and Mintoki are the only two who can say something about that. Mintoki's only 2nd. AMS Wards How does he respond to F1 Schwartz's blistering lap time? That's got him on sprint pole. AMS Ward's on his debut coming across the line. Not enough. F1 Schwartz, back-to-back poles. Last week in Silverstone for the main race, now in Baku for the sprint race. Unbelievable lap there at the end. Look at how close 2nd to 8th was. But more importantly, F1 Schwartz's gap is massive. 9/10 ahead of Mintoki. Top four different teams. Penguin 3rd, Lennon 4th, out-qualifying a teammate for the first time in quite a long time. AMS Ward's on debut 6th, Reese Dainty back in 7th, and Lyral Fusion's 8th. Both V-Carbs ran out our top 10. Our Haas drivers were the 2 slowest of the ones who got in lap times. AMS Ward's on debut 6th, Reese Dainty back in 7th, and Lyral Fusion's 8th. Both V-Carbs ran out our top 10. Our Haas drivers were the 2 slowest of the ones who got in lap times. George saying Shorts went 2/10 faster than the Tier 1 pole. I do think he got a toe at that beginning portion of the lap. Whether or not he's got any effect from it now would become the question. But Tier 1 pole did get a toe, and it was a massive toe with Egg. Now, I don't know whether it's fair for George to move him up from this, but at the same time, we're going to see if his qualifying pace translates to his race pace, because in the past, it hasn't. And he's still yet to win an RPL race as well, just for good measure. Apparently, sprint quality is also slower, so yeah, I do get the point there, but that is quite wild. So for the sprint, I'm thinking since what, 9 laps? You could probably go softs, but mediums is going to be the better choice anyway. And your tires won't fall off a cliff at the end of the sprint. Seems like Park Ferme off, Park Ferme on. It does not matter for F1 Shorts. He is on pole position for the sprint. That was a crazy lap there at the end. I don't know how he pulled that off the bag, but he is a qualifying merchant, you're right. But at the same time, that's more of a margin than he's used to getting. Remember, F1 Shorts has never won an RPL race in any tier. We'll be waiting for the 5 red lights in just a few moments' time. Check the tires quickly. Everybody on the medium compound tire. Well, you've been waiting for this moment. It's been a while until we had a sprint in Baku, but it's our first time in F1 cars. It's Tier 2, sprinting around Baku. It's lights out, and away we go. Looks like Shorts almost stalled off the line. He's going to have company to his left side. Penguin could have split the middle. Mintoki's on the inside, and that's Lennon who got boxed in. It almost was a spin at turn 1 for Isha. Down the order, but side by side. Heavy braking there. That's a Haas getting tagged right there in the background. But now, Night Owl, side by side with Penguin on the run to turn 3. Wheel-to-wheel action, Night Owl wins it for 3rd place. Penguin wanted to have a go back at the inside, but couldn't do much there. That was also Reese Dainty almost going out wide and in the wall. Lennon, big hit for him. Damage from clunking the barrier, and the Sauber almost did the same. But it's F1 Shorts, who almost bogged down there at the start, had a challenge, and didn't lose any places, but has kept the lead only by 5/10. Half the gap he pulled out in qualifying. 2 places gained from Fusion, 2 places from Night Owl, 5 lost from Lennon, and that's partially due to the damage. He clunked the barrier big time, and he's out in the castle section. Big hit into the barrier for Lennon. He's out of the sprint, and Ferrari, who desperately needed those points, they will not be getting it in the sprint. They're going to have to wait for the main race. Up 4 positions for Wavy. He was our biggest winner, and now Wars is going out wide. Almost clunked the barrier there as well. That's Lyral Fusion letting Reese Dainty go by now. Reese Dainty, who stayed level, pegging at the start, now has gained a place. But it is almost a second gap from F1 Shorts, and here comes Night Owl. Night Owl breezing by the South Korean, no contest. But look at how much he gained on Shorts right there with the Ferrari straight-line speed. Brought the gap from 9/10 to 2/10 right there. Here comes Reese Dainty blowing by. A lot of drivers weaving and bobbing around there in the DRS tree, trying to find their braking zone. It's because around this circuit, I would say traction and braking is probably some of the hardest around this circuit compared to the others. But now, it's just Penguin jockeying for position and kind of ducking out, not to hit the car in front. Bar 2 on the inside of Wavy now for 10th place. Place contested. Or is it? He almost slammed Wavy into the wall. Luckily didn't. Now the top 9 are within DRS of F1 Shorts. Lennon, game over for him. Only 1 out of this. But the castle section claims another victim. Got 2 different trains. One for the lead that goes back to 9th, and the one that goes from 10th to 13th. It's for what would be our last point spot in the main race, but in the sprint, only the top 8 get points. And you can see the drivers taking a lot of curb right there on the inside. Whether it's vital for them or not, they're going to use every bit of it. And now, all the way to turn 20. Obviously, Night Owl will be the driver having DRS on F1 Shorts. That Ferrari straight line speed yesterday was a big factor. How will it play in Night Owl's hands tonight? Let's ride on board with the Australian with DRS applied. Night Owl fastest lap. Lyral Fusion goes by Wards. Beatnik and Zakaria looks like they're losing touch with the train, but Night Owl tried to save some ERS right there while burning it down the main straight. That battle for 10th place still continues on. Zakaria and Beatnik, a little ding-dong battle for 8th between the 2 teammates for the last point spot. And both Red Bulls running 4th and 5th, probably where they need to be, and they realize now, just like last week, 1 Ferrari in this race compared to both Red Bulls. And Beatnik, a little up and under move, gets 8th place on Zakaria complete. And it looks like Isha lost touch with that train compared to where Bartu, Goodmans, and Wavy are. However, F1 Shorts better make the most of this, because this might be his last Tier 2 race based on what George was saying. But, I mean, I don't want to argue against it, but for crying out loud, it is the end of the game cycle. So, I don't know. It does show that Night Owl and Reese are beatable, though, to people who aren't saying that they are. And apparently, according to Lennon, Night Owl is lagging quite hard. Let's run on board with Mintoki and see if that is the case. I don't see much lag, but he did have this issue last season around this portion of the events. Penguin right behind Mintoki, but for how much longer? The Red Bull straight line speed is insane. You could just see it running on board with the Mercedes driver. Breezing past. Night Owl dived to the inside. Shorts had to back out right there, and Night Owl now leads the the sprint race here ahead of the Grand Prix. Lap 4 of the sprint, in fact. Shorts now is the one with DRS, and now is the one attacking rather than the one protecting. And Night Owl cannot protect the Dutchman for much longer. F1 Shorts back through now, and Night Owl and Penguin both almost clipped the inside barrier. Zakaria re-inherits P8, and Wavy Knife still maintains P10 right there. Nice little battle with Wavy Knife involved. This DRS train, like we said it, goes back to 7th. Both V-Carbs out of the mix, but they still have the last point spot with Zakaria. Remember, this middle sector, you can save so much battery, and that's what a lot of the drivers are doing. But if you're going to use any battery, right where Night Owl just went through is where you're going to do it, and he did just that before going back down the gears. A little wiggle from Night Owl as well. Reese Dainty trailing Mintoki. Little wiggle from the South Korean again. A lot of wiggles on traction, I'm noticing, but every game, no matter how much these games change with the F1 games, this is always one of the trickiest circuits I've always noticed on traction. And let's just see how much the Red Bull outpaces the Mercedes in the straights. Look at this. Penguin going for it. Night Owl goes for it because Penguin didn't. Night Owl to the inside. Side-by-side action. Close quarter racing out of turn 1. Now to turn 2. F1 Shorts prevails, but locks up the brakes. Night Owl on the inside. DRS applied for him. He'll go through now for the lead of the race on that 5. Penguin is there as well. Penguin's not winning any longer. F1 Shorts is dropping first to third. Or is he going to drop that far? Penguin still on the inside. Pinches. And you can see F1 Shorts now having the inside preferred line. A little contact. Now Shorts back to third. Mintoki on the inside of Reese Dainty now. Contact made. A lot of argy-barginess for this place. They're both going to lose DRS if they keep doing this. But luckily, we're going to the castle section where we're going to get single file. We saw 2x2 here in an F2 race and it didn't work out. Now, Mintoki gets the better end of Reese. That could have ended in disasterness, and luckily it didn't. Crazy action from the 2-time winner and also the 2-time champion F1 cars, 3-time champion overall. Good question to ask. Has any other driver reached Tier 1 without winning any races before? Well, I could tell you Alex Norris got moved up to Tier 1 without winning a Tier 2 race, but he was winning in Tier 3. So it's interesting. Alex and Shorts, who were teammates, getting moved up in very interesting ways here, unless Shorts prevents that tonight. Now Night Owl trying to prevent the Red Bull from going through. Here's Reese Dainty going through on Mintoki. F1 Shorts breezing by now. Lap 6 of the sprint, and F1 Shorts is not going to go for any more. Further behind, Lero Fusion in the mix. Beatnik gets Zakaria, but Lero Fusion gets 5th place back. Remember, he had this place not too long ago. 3 places though gained from the start. Not bad though, from the Tier 3 champion. Here's F1 Shorts in the slipstream of Night Owl, not going through and staying put. But like we've said it the whole entire time, DRS going all the way back to 7th place. Lero Fusion starting to lose touch, but both Mercedes at the back of this train in 6th and 7th. Beatnik holding the last point spot over Zakaria, and Wavy Knife still maintaining P10. It seems like the calm before the storm on a Friday. Little moment there from Night Owl looked like, just trying to put on the power mid-castle section. But it is Lero Fusion though, losing touch to this train, so it might make it a 4-horse race to end the sprint. Remember, everybody on the medium compound tire, we're going to take you off the tire to end the event. Actually, let's give you the leader gap before we go to DRS. This is how everybody's doing in our event, so you can see it. 3/10 adrift from our leader, but F1 Shorts will have the help of DRS this time. Overtake on use already. In the draft of Night Owl. Is he going to go for it? He will. Mintoki gets Fusion, and now F1 Shorts gets Night Owl. 2x2 to turn 1. 3 rows deep. Shorts clears Night Owl. Reese gets the teammate. And Mintoki, as well as Wards, complete the overtake on Lero Fusion with 3 to go in the sprint. Now, I believe that's a place traded further back. I couldn't tell where that was, but everyone weaving and bobbing on the straight to turn 3. But now single file, they go back. Oh, crash. Isha out. Oh, Goodmans. Big moment from the Sauber. Kept it straight though, but that could have been damage to the Sauber if he didn't take evasive action. now that Lyra Fusion is not leading that train, and Mentoki is. Mentoki's back in DRS pursuit right now of Torn Penguin, who is very close to the back of his teammate. Ooh, big lockup right there. Oh. So, we're going to get to 2 laps remaining this time. Who's your money on right now? Is it Shorts, Night Owl, Reese, or someone else? Night Owl's boosting. Night Owl's using a lot of that battery. He's back on hot lap, but here he goes. Night Owl with the lead. Reese tucks back in. He protects it at turn 1, and Shorts will have the help of DRS this time into turn 3. Zakaria and Beatnik trade spots for 8th. That won't matter right now in terms of a race for the win, but if anyone does have a moment, that could mean both V-Carbs getting points in the sprint. F1 Shorts in the slipstream. Crash. That's the Sauber. Into the barrier. And Zakaria trading places with Beatnik once again. Goodmans has not had the sprint, but luckily he can have another go at things in the main race and the main qualifying session coming up soon. But we have places trading. Wavy Knife is under threat for the first time. Mentoki getting Penguin for 4th. That's another move she's pulled off into turn 7. I don't know if everyone's Shorts at the moment right there, but he got vulnerable to Race Dainty. And Bar 2 didn't go by Wavy, but that's a cracking battle right there for 10th. That was just waiting for a move to happen. Ooh! Very close to contact. Will we see anybody play any DRS mind games here? Night Owl in front. Shorts trailing. Night Owl clipped the barrier there. But luckily only with the rear tire. And Ferrari desperately need these points with Lennon out of the sprint. DRS online. 1 lap remaining this time by. 7-horse race for the sprint victory. Shorts on the overtake button. But is he going to go for it before turn 3 or does he wait? Shorts putting one to the inside but waiting. It makes Race Dainty get a little crazy there in the background going to his inside. No move made. I thought he was going to go for it, but he didn't. He backed out. And now they're waiting for either turn 3 or that main straight this time by. Zakaria and Beatnik within inches of each other. Here's Race Dainty tucking back in. Now Night Owl will save all that battery. Lucky for him, he's got that Ferrari straight line speed, and the Red Bull is there as well of Race Dainty. So maybe this is Night Owl's race to lose. Make it a 6-horse race. Lyra Fusion had a moment there in the background, and I don't think he has damage, but you know who definitely does? The Sauber. It's like a mower at this point. And Zakaria and Beatnik right now. 8th and 9th. Beatnik ahead of Zakaria for the last point spot. F1 Shorts putting some battery back on that McLaren. But Night Owl has better battery at use. It's going to be another one of these fantastic finishes in Azerbaijan. But this time, luckily for the sprint, big moment for the Mercedes. That's Wards out of contention now. One more DRS zone to decide the sprint. And this was a good one. 9 laps. And on lap number 9, Shorts deploying the battery. But is it enough? Race Dainty there in the background. To the line to decide the sprint. Night Owl wins the sprint ahead of Race Dainty. F1 Shorts 3rd. Mentoki 4th. Penguin 5th. Beatnik and Zakaria! It's Beatnik holding on this time. Instead of losing out on the photo finish that he had with Shorts, his teammate, he wins out on this one to claim the last point spot. Lyra Fusion, P7. AMS Wards on debut in the sprint, P6. Night Owl, your championship leader, did not have the fastest lap. If we awarded the fastest lap for sprint points, we would have actually had probably equal amount of points. And Goodman's more trouble. Don't know if he'll finish the sprint. Maybe in styling fashion, at least, for the Kick Sauber. Kicking his way around the circuit. But, yeah, look at the leader gap, though, at the end. Another event with 4 cars within a second. Wavy Knife, if this was a main race, would have claimed the last point. Goodman's jerking the steering wheel. And he'll cross the line. Woeful event. Very woeful event. Yeah. So, Night Owl. That was a 27-point lead over Race Dainty. And Red Bull also will extend their lead over Ferrari by 3 more points than anticipated. So that's the 23-point gap into the main race. But here are your full sprint race results. A medal to the top 3. And F1 Shorts from Sprint Pole, finishing P3. Did not continue the streak of finishing top 2 after getting a sprint pole. Reese Dainty, Night Owl are top 2 again. Our 2 drivers we lost, Isha and Lennon, both part of Ferrari Academy. Now, to your main qualifying in Baku. Let us know what you think in terms of your predictions. Remember, a dry weekend all the way through. So, since we did start qualifying, I do have an announcement later tonight. I'll be giving that on my personal Instagram. My old gamer tag, RyanOcon31, no spaces. That will regard my commentary future, whether it be RPL or any league, for next game. Since I have picked up Academy Assistant, people were wondering about that, and I will, not that it matters, or not that anyone, well, I shouldn't say not that anyone cares, but not that everyone will care. I'll still have an announcement to give later tonight, so keep an eye out on that. Regardless, 14 drivers partaking in qualifying, and how about that sprint from Night Owl? Should we give him an interview? Should we? I have no co-com tonight, so why not? Let me just make sure I have audio included from the stream for people who want to get an interview, let's say. And let's give him one. Why not? Right? He's not going out on the track, so let's talk to him. If he would like to be talked to. I heard Beatnik yesterday in the Tier 3 race hit 351 kph. The straight line speed from the Red Bull is crazy. But same with the Ferrari too. Both those cars are quite insane in terms of their straight line speed. We have 4 cars out on the track, make it 5 now with Torn Penguin going out there. And our first one who will start a lap is AMS Wards. We'll watch him. So, with Night Owl's sprint win, that does mean no matter what happens in this race tonight, let's say Night Owl crashes out, pulls a Korsman, and let's say Reese wins with fastest lap, Reese would not get the championship lead. Or at least tie it. AMS Wards, our first driver on a lap. Youngest driver in the field. Let's go on board with the Mercedes driver. That car is pretty woeful in a straight line, but let's watch what magic can happen underneath this driver on debut under his belt. Little clunk to the wall. Smoke up in front of him from somebody coming on the track now. Sector 1 will be complete now. 34.8. Not bad. Remember, drivers will be using quite a bit different compounds compared to usual. As you can see, medium compounds on use here compared to normal weekends, compared to not having the sprint. Clunking the wall there at the castle section. Overtake on use here, using a lot of it. And I think a lot of these drivers are trying to save a lot of battery for that main straight. I do realize if you're going to try and gain lap time, that may be where it is. You saw Wards there go over the white line there in that corner, but not getting validated. He also did clip the wall, but looks to be fine. Doesn't have any damage. Trying to push these limits. You got to be very careful pushing the boundaries around this track. Just like Monaco with how the walls can bite. Or Saudi, or Vegas, or Hungary. With no grass, though. Across the line, AMS Wards, our benchmark time, 38.7. F1 Shorts will be next. Or one of the next drivers, I should say. But yes, next in terms of lap time. F1 Shorts, barely any battery left to spare. DRS supplied. And what will it be from the Dutchman? 38.2. Who could have guessed it would be fastest? Race Dainty starts a lap. Lyrial Fusion completing a lap. Torn Penguin will be completing a lap. Isha will be completing one soon as well. Let's ride on board with either Lyrial Fusion or Penguin. Penguin just takes out the bullard right there. Similar to Shorts here, not much battery on use. And that's a spin. Isha, as a moment, is that damage to the Turkish driver? I think I saw end plate damage on that left side. Yes, we do. Torn Penguin out of turn 20, up to the DRS straight, and up to the line. 12% on use here. Deployment used, and Torn Penguin only third. We'll look at Lyrial Fusion crossing now. Race Dainty on a lap. Second place man in the championship. And for the first time, he qualified below P3 this season. But still is not to do so in a main race. We'll see if that does change tonight. It was this circuit in Tier 1 in Season 9. He had a monstrous pole lap. Similar to the likes of F1 Shorts, except this time, F1 Shorts' gap there in the sprint qualifying pole was 9/10 ahead. Race Dainty's was 7/10 ahead. And Race Dainty crosses and goes fastest, 37.9. He was on the soft compound, though, compared to the medium compound. See if anybody else is on a lap or on the track that we could look at. Keep our eye on Zakaria. Why not? I'm just going to keep the party joinable for Night Owl since we are going to give him an interview. Neither Ferrari on the track yet, but Lennon is having issues disconnecting right now. F1 Shorts. Fun fact, Ward's only a week older than me, so we are probably the two youngest drivers in the field. Whoa. Fair play. I still don't remember what that country's name is. I probably should get more educated. I still can't get Night Owl in here. I tried getting him in here. Lebanon. I knew it was something like that. Just forgot the name. Not a popular enough country in RPL, though, but it's good to have drivers from all regions of the world. Zakaria coming across the sector split 34.8, and I believe Lennon did get to take control this time. But Zakaria had quite the race to commentate on yesterday, I must say. Because although there were some chaotic moments, there was not many DNFs. There were not many surprises in terms of places where drivers would finish. I mean, he had both Alpines in the points, but that was legitimately on pure pace, keeping Malley 41, championship leader, down in 10th. Polish was outside the points, Neski was outside the points, but besides that, we didn't have many racers that you usually have outside of the points. Or, I should say, many you wouldn't have outside the points, actually outside the points. So, yeah, Zakaria got to have that spectacle to commentate on yesterday. And across the line, the Dutchman will go with the rear wing open. Overtake unused, deployment used. And this will be fourth fastest. He leapfrogged a McLaren right there and is just behind Wards. So Zakaria, an ex-Tier 1 driver, still has got some pace in him. I believe Isha's on a lap, and this driver did sign for Williams now to next game cycle full-time in Tier 2. Season 17, and did smack the barrier right there. I don't know if Night Owl backed off or not, but let's see. Or not Night Owl, excuse me, Isha. I said Night Owl because he just sent a message in the Discord and I meant to ping him. My apologies. Either way, Isha will actually get a lap on the board this time that is representable. 4.5 seconds slower though. Lennon, Beatnik, they're going to start laps. Lennon on the track. So I guess that does seem to be proven false, that if you do try and join and you try to take control, whether park from is on or off, it retires you. Only happened to Neski yesterday. Seemed to be a one-time thing. Lennon did lag out of the session and was able to take back control of his car, the Dutchman. So, Night Owl, congratulations on your sprint win. Make sure you do include that audio.
Hello. Yeah, I've done so.
I mean, I know you have a lot of Ferrari straight-line speed, but how did you hold off the drivers behind you, knowing what was at stake?
Just save the battery for the last straight, really, and just dump it. I nearly messed myself over there because I thought lap 8 was the last lap. I didn't keep track. I had to save all that battery up again on the last lap, which I didn't. I kind of put myself in that position because I just got messed up myself really on what lap is what. And still managed to win it, but if I didn't win that, I would have been kind of myself because I flunked it pretty much.
So with you winning the sprint, then that does put you one more point ahead of Reese Dainty. However, if you DNF in this race and he wins with fastest lap, you still would maintain the championship lead.
I won.
Yeah, well, I mean, but if you have moments later on in the season, how vital are those points to claim like you just did?
1 point ain't probably won't make that much of a difference, but when I saw end of quality restart in P7, me P5, I knew I could gain a bit of a gap on him tonight, or in the sprint anyway. Then at the end of the race, he just gets shorts on the line, so it doesn't really matter. Just gets 1 point closer. There's just one more point I need to worry about for the future, really.
And one more thing I want to ask about. Obviously, mistakes are very, very common here, but in terms of what you just did by holding off shorts, Reese, others, with the ERS management and everything, how much does the sprint in events like this prepare you for the race like you just had happen right
Not
there?
really at all, because in sprints you can't get safety cars. If Lennon crashed like how he did in the feature, like if that was the feature race, that definitely would have been a safety car. All strategies could have gone out the window. But yeah. With Baku, it's not really a
Nonetheless
difference between a sprint and there's a huge difference between the sprint and the feature. Because
yeah,
could get screwed by a safety car, could get saved by a virtual safety car. We don't need to pit in the sprint. Right, the sprint is just full push really. You don't need to manage tyres. In the future, you'll have to do
regardless,
that.
Your teammate Lennon did go 4th, Wards went 2nd, and Beatnik went 7th while we were all talking about that. But good luck in tonight's race.
Yeah, thank you, mate.
We hope to see you more later on. Zero Fusion went 4th fastest right there. Yeah, good luck. Let's go on board with Mintoki now. And round 6 last season. I don't remember if she was on pole in Singapore or not, but it was a Mercedes that won round 6 last season. And in fact, the last 2 seasons. Ooh, clunking the wall. Mintoki. You're right, Maddie. No one did make any mistakes yesterday. I mean, I feel like Jake hit the side of Devin. I mean, yeah, lap 1, but besides that, yeah, you're right. No one did make mistakes yesterday, and if you did, it was going to cost you a lot more because of no one making mistakes. This time, if you make a mistake around this circuit, it's going to cost you more because of the barriers being close and, well, really everything besides that. But now let's ride on board with Mentoki coming through the castle section. No track limits enforced here, but exiting here there is. Gotta be careful on that white line. That used to not get enforced on prior F1 games. This game it does. This is where we saw the Tier 1 race decided in terms of using DRS tactics. This white line can be tricky in terms of pushing the boundaries there, but her teammate did a very good job of showing us how much you can push the boundaries there without going out too wide and invalidating. Night Owl still not on the track yet, by the way. It's very surprising not to see the Australian coming out, and the championship leader for good matters. But Mentoki, one more corner to navigate. Rear wing will be open this time by hot lap on use. Overtake, deploying it all. Deployment used, and across the line, only 6th fastest from Mentoki. Isha's next, and Isha will start a lap. Let's see what the Turkish driver can do. DRS applied. Isha will be full-time in the Williams next game, as we said, but may as well finish off the season and game cycle, whether you're a driver or a driver for a certain academy, very, very well. Finish it out the best you can. Now, ooh, we'll head to the barrier. 2.5 minutes remaining. If you're not out on track right now, you better get out there because time is ticking. And if you're in our lovely Twitch chat, give us a prediction. Who do you think is going to be on pole? Who will be in the top 3? But nonetheless, Isha will complete the sector split very soon here. Oh, another hit to the wall. I didn't do great either, Maddie, but after all, it's Mexico. I've never been good around there. Just got to keep it out of the track limits, I guess you could say, and you'll get a good finish. If there's a late safety car. I didn't get that. And it's also hard to get penalties around here, actually, tonight in terms of talking about track limits. But Isha will cross the line. I'm surprised deployment hasn't hit used yet. It does now, but still slowest of them all. And will not be last because Wavy Knife retired early on from the session. We'll look at Wards now. On debut, what's it going to be from the Mercedes? Look at the queue of cars in our last sector right here. Trying to get in a train to start the lap. They want every bit of slipstream possible. AMS Wards will complete the sector split soon here. You just got to navigate one more corner in the sector, and yellow flags entering that final sector. But Wards is up on the time, just marginally though. Will everybody get to the checkered flag? I believe so. I think the only one that might be at risk is Lyral Fusion. We'll keep an eye on him later on. AMS Wards entering the castle section now. He's got a Haas in front of him. Oh, a little hit to the barrier, but I think the wing is still on that car. Yes, no damage appearing on that Mercedes. But a big hit to the wall right there. Now, he'll complete the second sector here soon. Got to keep it out of the wall here. Another hit to the wall. Another hit to the wall from the car behind as well. So the Mercedes awards really pushing the boundaries, but it's costing him down compared to the first sector, but still up in the time compared to the first lap. Race Dainty up by 2/10. F1 Shorts up, or sorry, down right there. Wow. Mentoki improves and is 4th fastest. It was Lyral Fusion crossing the line just in time there. And AMS Wards on debut right now remains in the front row. That's Isha Still staying 11 fastest, and that's a car on the wall. Facing backwards, that's Goodman's. Only going to stay at best of 10th. Night Owl on a lap. We have Lennon on a lap as well. Lennon completing the sector, up by only 16 thousandths. Reese Dainty's up by 3/10 right now. We're going to look at Lennon crossing first, but Reese Dainty's going to get a massive toe down this main straight. Look at this. I think Mintoki might be going for another one. Maybe, maybe not. But either way, Lennon crossing. Lennon finds just enough time. And Reese Dainty goes fastest on provisional pole right now. F1 Shorts goes back to fastest. And Night Owl's only 7th. It's only Lero Fusion or Mintoki who can deny F1 Shorts another pole. This would be his 3rd if he keeps it. But Lero Fusion is down. Mintoki's not on a lap, so it will be F1 Shorts back-to-back poles. It's the first time in his RPL career in the same tier he'll have back-to-back poles. And F1 Shorts on pole in Baku. 2 of his 3 tier 2 poles have come on the streets, and Lero Fusion got to the checkered flag in the barrier. Zakari and Beatnik both V-carbs again, 9th and 10th. Reese Dainty on the front row again. In a race, still not qualifying, worse than 3rd. But for our race, F1 Shorts on pole position, 37.2. I mean, I wonder what that is in comparison to his sprint lap, but I also wonder what it is in comparison to our Tier 1 pole that we were talking about, because time and time again, this is being compared a lot. So we had a prediction in the chat. Shorts, Wards, Night Owl. Well, you got Shorts right, Invade, but not the other two. And Night Owl only down in 7th. Both Ferraris 7th and 8th. It's a big stinker for them, but it's F1 Shorts on pole. Reese Dainty. Both Mercedes, and a little upset there for them being 3rd and 4th. Especially compared to this being a circuit with no straight line speed for them. Lero Fusion 5th, Penguin 6th. Then you have Night Owl and Lennon running out our top 8. Zakari and Beatnik 9th and 10th. I'm surprised still Ferrari both cars down there. Night Owl down in 7th. And your full lineup here. Bar 2, our slowest runner once again. A Haas driver. But you could say with Isha and Bar 2, just getting settled in here. Doesn't matter if you don't have the pace. What matters is getting these results, and Baku might be a track where that might be happening tonight for a lot of these drivers. So, give us some predictions, folks. What do you have in mind for our event tonight in Baku? The streets of Baku, 26 laps, and our second half of the season starts now. Who wins? Who's on the podium? Who crashes? If anybody does. Could have a calm Baku race like Tier 1 kind of had, I want to say. I say kinda because Baku's always chaotic, and we didn't have the chaos like we usually do in Tier 1 at this circuit, but still had some upsets, it's safe to say. We had like 3 photo finishes here in Tier 3 on our last time here. It will be a medium hard, it's looking to be, either medium hard, hard medium. I think our pole sitter's on hards. Let me just double check. Yeah, F1 Shorts. Oh, no, on mediums. Reese on hards now. Wards, Mintoki, Night Owl, Lennon, Beatnik. So a variety of strategies here. But a dry race as we know it. And Toki a little surprised by being out qualified there. Let's look at some of our previous races in Baku in terms of where our pole sitter finished. Vodka, pole sitter, P2. Instincts, pole sitter, P1. J&T, pole sitter, P3. Jack Miles, P1, and Egg, P2. So in every Tier 2 race around this circuit, we have had the pole sitter finish on the podium. But like we said before, F1 Shorts has never won. Could tonight be the night? So, we're getting our timer. Any last minute predictions, get them in now. Less than 10 seconds now. And you know what? This is going to be a crazy one. For round 6 of the season. And the 5 red lights ahead of the drivers. Around the streets of Baku, it is lights out, and away we go. Reese Dainty moving over already. F1 Shorts wheel spin, and Reese Dainty on the inside line will squeeze the Dutchman, and almost in the barrier, but Shorts gets cut off. It's Reese Dainty leading the Grand Prix already. A late change this time compared to last time, and that's damage. Damage in the back of the field. Big collision. Wards in the wall. On debut, out already. And that's a safety car deployed. There is damage on the run to turn 2. Drivers braking, but Wards into the wall and out on debut. Also in the background there, while that safety car was deployed, we had Isha loop it at turn 1. Any damage on the Turkish driver's wing? No. But safety car deployed. Let's show you the places gained from that whole skirmish. Bar 2 up 3. Zakaria up 3. Good start from Zakaria. Down 2 for Penguin. And of course, Shorts, our leader, lost a place. Our pole sitter. Reese Dainty's our leader now. So if you're on the hards, now what do? You could probably go to the hards on the mediums here. If you're Zakaria, Bartu, Wavy, Isha, and maybe make it to the end of the race. Try a risky strategy call, but if you're on the hards here, I think you have to stay out. Because I doubt that will be our only safety car. And on his debut, Wards out immediately. Remember our video we had? We got a wreck immediately moments? Yeah, well, we might add that to a part 2 if we have one. That was not the debut the driver part of AMS would have wanted. Zakaria's in. I expected this, but you know what? He might go hards all the way to the end here, and I hope he's not the only one, but he is. This is not a bold strategy call, but you know what? If there's no more safety cars somehow, gamble this. Try something out of the ordinary, and he is going hard to the end. No wings repaired. Obviously, our only driver out of this event is AMS Wards. Interesting. I still wonder what happened. I saw an M plate go flying into turn 2, and then Wards went out of the race. But I don't know what happened. Apparently, Shorts is saying he hit the inside wall. So, that would do it. Except for Gecko hitting the inside wall at turn 3. It's Wards this time at turn 2. And we might get the safety car coming in this time since Zakaria has caught the pack. We'll let you know if that's the case here in just a moment. So the safety car will stay out another lap, and while we're at it, let's give you a little rundown on how we're going to finish out this weekend. RPL Formula 1 tomorrow, continuing and ending the weekend in Portugal. Yes, you're hearing that right, ending the weekend. We did not go over this on our pre-race show, but Formula 2 for the remainder of this game cycle will not be continuing. Next week, Tier 3 starts off the weekend in Canada. Home race for what would be EXO, but he's not racing any longer this game cycle. It'll be a home race for Ardell, though. And for Tier 2 next week, we'll be at Spa. I really don't like that circuit as a driver, but I'll tell you right now, we've had some very big moments and very famous moments in RPL history in the past there, and I would not be surprised to see that again. It's a very, very fun track to commentate and very fun track IRL, but in the game, I really don't like racing it. It's just my personal opinion. We should be getting the safety car in this time, though, but Zakaria pitting right there, very interesting, because he can go the remainder of the race, no matter what. And he got off the compound that he needed to get off of. These guys in the hards, 9 drivers who started on the hards, could not get off those compounds. Well, 10, but 1 is out of the race. And Reese Dainty maintains control and is in control of the safety car restart. Safety car in this time. Remember, you cannot go below pit speed here while leading the restart. We'll keep an eye on Reese to make sure he does not do that. But he's got a hungry herd of cars behind him. And we all want to get going. But when does Reese go becomes the question. Still drivers weaving. Reese Dainty, our leader. Waiting, waiting, waiting. Still waiting. Speeding up and mashing the gas now. Back to green flag action. Time to bring the action once more. And already some moves made. Night Owl, who had the poor qualifying on the inside of Fusion at turn 1. And clears him ahead. Beatnik gets bar 2. Little ding-dong battle there. Wavy and Goodman's. Lot of action here, but Wavy almost clipped the V-carb there. Luckily didn't. Remember, Wavy retired in qualifying and shot into the wall. Goodman's contact with the Haas, I believe, but he does have damage. And Zakaria will have to make his way around him with that being said, but a big wiggle from the Red Bull. That was Penguin right there, trailing Lennon. And bar 2, who started on the mediums. I think he got a place there, or at least was battling for a place with Beatnik. Remember, it shows safety car on the screen, but we do not have safety car out. That's a game glitch. Reese Dainty still leading. Shorts 2/10 at bay. Wavy Knife may have clunked the barrier right there. Regardless, he's now last of our running drivers still and into the wall. Goodman's spun it out. And now is going to have to find a way to get back going. But this has been a terrible safety car restart here for Goodman's. F1 Shorts and Reese Dainty. They've pulled away from the other cars behind. Mentoki has Night Owl for company here for P3. And this train goes back to 12th. This is not going to be over just yet. Look at the Ferrari straight-line speed. No contest. This is a GP2 engine here for Mentoki, pretty much. Penguin going through as well for 6th place. F1 Shorts sets the fastest lap. Not bad right there, but you want to get a bit more, don't you? Well, we got some moves more behind. Wavy Knife on the outside of Zakaria. Zakaria slams the door shot. And remember, Zakaria might not have the pace right now. He's 7 seconds back from the lead, but he will have the track position here And this is going to get him a better finish than what he would be, where he would be finishing. And Goodman's 10 seconds, spinning in the pit lane. Wonder if he just didn't get it well down or he's retiring. He is retiring. Game over for the Sauber. And a moment for Wavy Knife, trying to overtake Zakaria. He's lost a second now, but 12 runners in this race still. Shorts and DRS range now. Reese Dainty still. But remember, DRS is enabled this time. Oh, Shorts in the wall! That's another driver who hit the wall. Lucky for Shorts, he did not go out of the race, but that could have been catastrophic for the Dutchman. More moments keep happening. This is crazy. Night Owl out of DRS range, but only just. Mintoki in the wings there in the background. Lyral Fusion, Torn Penguin, Lennon, Bar2K, Beatnik, all these drivers in DRS range. Isha holding the last point spot right now. Although Shorts at the wall, him and Reese have similar battery, but is Reese vulnerable in the turn 3 becoming the question now. Torn Penguin, he's not waiting any longer. Reese sets fastest lap. Penguin now sets fastest lap. And Penguin pulling in front of the McLaren. Is he ahead? Maybe just, but that was very touch and go. With 5th and 6th place, Penguin gets it. Now Zakaria's hards might be kicking in here soon. On the back of Isha, 10th place goes to Zakaria. Isha pulls over and tucks back in behind the Dutchman. Zakaria's gap to her leader was 7.1. Now it's 8.1. Although he's in a slower car compared to Reese, he'll have fresher rubber, and he will have the track position later on. But that's in hopes of no safety car. He's got to catch his teammate here. And if he does, he'll be in a better spot than he is right now. 1.8 seconds, Night Owl is adrift from F1 Shorts. Interesting here that he's not gaining any time on Shorts. And Race Dainty would be bringing the gap down in the championship race here. Oh, it's not a lot. It's still a big amount of points. It's 10 points. He'd be 17 points back. And especially considering what could have been in Silverstone, that'd be big for Reese. Shorts in attacking range here. Beatnik also just got Bar2K right there. I think Bar2 is maybe playing some DRS tactics. I'm not sure. But F1 Shorts, DRS applied. Race Dainty covering it though, with more ERS on use. He's on hot lap. Shorts moments ago was on medium. I don't know what Bar2 did there. If he just had a moment or let the V-carb go through, but perfect scenario for Zakaria here. He's in DRS range and not losing as much time to our leader. Well, that's crucial because he will have the track position over 20 seconds when you pit here. So Zakaria not putting himself in winning contention, but putting himself in a better spot to finish in obviously a better spot compared to where he would have been. Shorts didn't attack that time in a turn 3, but he's waiting for his opportunity. Can he deliver one for the TP of McLaren on his birthday? Jack Miles. I don't know what age Jack Miles is now, but I don't want to say he's getting old. He's not much older than I am. But it'd be a great victory if Shorts were to win his first race and deliver a birthday treat for Jack Miles. Penguin just touching the barrier there, but again, you're always going to touch the barrier here. It's just a matter of how much you do. Shorts could have ended in tears right there when he clipped the barrier in the castle section laps ago. Okay, so this time Shorts is 5.5 tenths back when we apply DRS. Ooh, incident, Wavy Knife, safety car. And look at this, the top two missed the pit lane. Penguin is in, but did not keep within the white lines. Neither did Fusion. Wonder if the Swords will have to say something about that. Look who's going to stay out, though. RPL Zakaria. Exactly what I was saying, but he didn't really need the safety car. However, can these drivers who are pitting make it to the end on medium tires? You know who can make it to the end? Zakaria can. Both Haas drivers double stack, but Wavy Knife. No wing on that car. For second safety car. Wavy destroyed the wing off that Aston Martin, and of course, another halt to this race. He'll repair that wing. Wonder if anyone will have to say anything about those drivers not keeping within white lines on the entry. We've had clean Tier 2 races in terms of our submissions to the stewards in recent races, but it does beg the question. And Zakaria not happy with the Kicksauber. He believes he got wing damage from him. Whether that's now or not, I'm going to check. I don't see any. Maybe it's lime green? I don't know. Well, you can see it on the left end plate from Zakaria. Of course, while the top 5 missed the pit lane, they can come in and pit this time and not lose a lot of time. That safety car is down at the exit of turn 2 and didn't pick up these guys, so interesting stuff developing there. And the question will become, will our leaders pit and go to the mediums? Bar 2 and Isho into the hards. I would assume Zakaria would have to come in and repair that wing, but he's not going to. And Wavy Knife also not happy with Zakaria. They were at the back of the field on that safety car restart, and Zakaria got a message from Wavy Knife being pinged saying, next time you do that, we're having a Singapore situation. If you don't remember what happened at Singapore, that race Reese won, Wavy and Zakaria had well, we'll call it a little mishap. Not the brightest of moments from the pair of them. And it got Wavy a huge penalty, and he said, can't just turn in when I'm alongside. Well, we know how Wavy Knife feels. I just wonder how Zakaria feels. There will always be 2 sides to every story, as they say, right? Let's give you a rundown of where we're at for the remainder of the season, by the way. Spa for round 7, Imola round 8, Brazil round 9, and we're going to have quite insanity to finish out this season. We're in Saudi Arabia for the Season 16 Tier 2 finale. Well, Zakaria did give his point of view. He said, I think I gave you enough space. We'll see if a clip gets sent in, we'll see how it plays out, but these two, not in the best of terms when it comes to street circuit on-track action. All right, our safety car is in this time. Reese Dainty once again in control of the restart. F1 Shorts ready to mash the gas. Reese Dainty not so much. He's still on none. Remember, only on lap 10. Now, pedal to the metal once again. Reese Dainty brings us back to action. Side by side further behind. That's Zero Fusion and Penguin before the finish line. Now Penguin going for it on teammate Zakaria. Big movement on the steering wheel, but Penguin gets clear of the teammate. The Academy teammate, in fact. Further behind. Ooh, little nudge. A lot of nudging. Zero Fusion and Lennon contact. Isha gets Wavy, but Isha's pinching Wavy now. And Isha will hold the place while deploying all that battery and moving across as well. Ooh, a lot of movement, a lot of sliding. Isha hangs on. But Wavy's down the inside. Wavy hits Isha. And Wavy gets turned out worse. Penguin gets Mintoki, and now Mintoki inside of Zakaria. These two came together at Vegas. Mintoki's first ever season of action. Real Fusion on the inside of Zakaria now. Zakaria's getting eaten alive right here, but taps the McLaren at the castle section. Remember that damage Zakaria has really affecting him now. Now it's separating things into 2 or 3 different trains. Seven tenths now the gap between Shorts and Reese, and Shorts was using a lot of battery right there, but Reese also used up a lot of battery to try and pull Shorts out of DRS, but that did not happen. Now down the straight, 2 Dutchmen go wheel to wheel. Lennon gets the move done. He passes Zakaria for 7th, and Wavy passes Isha back there for 11th. These two have been at each other's throats. Whoa, Wavy, big lockup, Wavy slide, Wavy hangs on. And Zero Fusion is making Mintoki get a little vulnerable here. Zero Fusion's on the battery, and Zero Fusion now with the overtake. He's back in the top 5. Isha trying to re-inherit P11, and does. Successful move there from the Turkish driver. And Isha missed the corner. Wavy back through. It's a 4-horse race up here, but the difference between the front 3 compared to the driver back and forth of Torn Penguin, medium compound tires. Can they go the distance? Zero Fusion also on those same tires. Fastest lap from Penguin. And now Lennon making easy work on Mintoki. Oh, almost slamming the back of the McLaren. Zero Fusion right there. Lucky not to do so. Penguin using a bit of the battery just to stay closer to Night Owl, who he's losing touch on. 2 different trains, as we said. Isha has lost touch with Wavy. Remember, it shows safety car, but that is a glitch. We are under green flag conditions. F1 Shorts, 6 tenths back right now. We're going to reach halfway next time by. But with F1 Shorts, I would hope and I'd assume he's playing the long game right here. He's trying to set himself up for later on. Reese Dainty's saving a lot of battery. He has been using all of it. F1 Shorts has been using a lot of his battery as well, but not as much as Reese has, which is very interesting to pick up on. Remember, Night Owl had that poor qualifying. He's up 4 places from his starting spot. Some drivers up 3. Mintoki down 3. And Isha, our first driver in the penalty club for picking up track limits. Shorts, 7-10 to drift from Reese Dainty. Reese Dainty still holding the Dutchman at bay. But I think Night Owl is not going to wait any longer. He realizes it's going to be Night Owl versus Reese if he does get this move done. And he is breezing by the McLaren. Night Owl's in P2 now. After a terrible qualifying, he's back up there. And after a horrible start to the season, Lennon cracks the top 5. Spin! Mintoki! Mintoki looks like she rear-locked it, trying to avoid a collision that could have happened there down at turn 1, and she's come off worse. Remember, Reese and Night Owl, as well as Shorts, still yet to pit. So this could be a race between our medium runners if somehow they can go the distance. Regardless, like I said, it's going to be Reese versus Night Owl. As long as Night Owl puts himself in the position to where he's the car behind Reese Dainty, instead of Reese's preference of a car between him and Night Owl or more, then this is what it's going to be. And that's what Night Owl wanted. He wanted to not wait any longer. He realized Shorts might have lost DRS to Reese if he was waiting around any longer. And he wasn't going to wait around any longer. We see the result now. Look at that. Night Owl now about to lose DRS pursuit to Reese, using some battery to try and catch back up. These top 2 cars, I would say, have the best straight line speed. But right now, Reese does not have the ERS advantage whatsoever. Night Owl does, but not by much at all. Look at the ERS usage from Penguin. 60% from the Red Bull. And he's hounding the back of Shorts. DRS applied, overtake applied. Reese is pitting. Reese is in, and Penguin could go from 4th to 1st here. He will choose better of it. Night Owl inherits the lead. There's a little wiggle wobble, but Shorts now down to 3rd. He was 3rd anyway, but 3rd of these cars at least. And last of these cars in this train. Penguin on the overtake button has none to spare now, and he'll go through to lead the Grand Prix now. Another different Grand Prix leader. And as Reese pits onto the mediums, he comes out behind Isha. Luckily enough for Reese, DRS applied. Now with Mintoki's moments ago, Zakaria now will fight Mintoki. And Isha is going to hang on to 11th over Reese. Reese jerks the steering wheel in frustration, I saw back there. Whoa! Reese is probably getting frustrated here, saying, come on, Isha, don't hold me up here. Oh, almost tapping the back of the Haas. And again, almost topping the back of the Haas. Reese is costing himself a lot of time here. Coming out behind Isha and getting stuck behind the Turkish driver. Now on the overtake. And not going to get it. While that's happening, Night Owl has lost touch to Penguin, but this is where the detection point is. Right there, a second within it. Did he get DRS? He did, only just. Reese can still not find a way past Isha. This is going to be very, very big to finish up this race. Battle for the last point spot, Wavy and Bartu. And Bartu got it back. Wavy, though, got DRS from that. And Wavy says, thank you very much, I'll go past. Speaking of going past, finally Reese can go past Isha. This is not what Reese would have wanted, to get caught behind the Haas driver, who's been struggling the entire day. And probably one of the worst moments to get caught behind somebody. 20.6 seconds off of our leaders right now. And once again, a little ding-dong battle. Crash! Wavy! Bartu! Collision! Both of them slammed the barrier. Luckily this time, no safety car for it. But I was just going to say, what a ding-dong battle this has been. They've kept it clean, but both have damage. Wavy, the one affected the most. That right end plate is almost fully torn off. Look at the chunk taken out of that Aston Martin. And I don't think Wavy's going to be too happy with Bar2 right there, because I don't know what happened, but clearly as Bar2 was ahead, the door got shut. And that's not the first time Wavy's had the door shut on him. And I'm sure both of them will be pitting to repair that front wing damage they both dearly have. And hopefully this time Reese does not get caught behind another Haas. None of our top three are pitting, but here's Leral Fusion on the back of Lennon going through. Here's Shorts going through. So both McLarens make the overtakes. Luckily enough for Reese, he'll have the DRS. Wavy and Bar2, I think they're both coming to the pit lane. One probably will. Wavy stays out, Bar2 in. Reese Dainty now with the fastest lap, so you gotta wonder, if he did not get caught behind Isha, what could have been maybe later on, if that's the case. Bar2, out of the event though. Don't know if he had damage on the rear wing or not, but definitely retiring out of frustration. Reese Dainty now inherits P9, overtaking Wavy. Easy DRS pass right there. So now it seems like as long as you finish this race, you could be getting points. Could be the case for Isha later on. Remember, you got to finish the race in order to get points. That's how it works here. You don't want a DNF or else you're not going to be awarded points. If you somehow DNF and are classified, that's a different story. So yellow flags for Bar2's car. Isha on the wall again. This has not been Isha's race at all. But Haas are still trying to get their first points this season. Because of Penguin's mediums, it seems like Shorts has been backed up here. Shorts with Night Owl both entering the pit lane. Now, did Shorts keep all four wheels and will become the question. But both are boxing. And they're the last ones to pit that needed to, as well as Mintoki, who will blink. No front wing changes, just simply tire compound changes, and Mintoki's on the softs. That's a very bold call. Wavy Knife is in. Reese Dainty's in P6 now. And look who's in this fight. Beatnik. On the run to get a podium. How about that? Torn Penguin keeps the lead of this race, and Wavy Knife repairing that front wing not just the first time, probably not the second time, but once again. How many times has Wavy Knife pitted? 2. Well, you know what? I'm pretty sure every time he has pitted, he has repaired a front wing. Bar2 wondering after you retired, is it my fault, the Wavy incident? Well, if it gets sent under the stewards, it'll be their verdict to tell. We'll be going to 8 laps to go this time. Can our medium runners go the distance? And even if they can't, can Reese Dainty, who is on fresher tires, catch them? Regardless, we have a car once again in between Shorts and, well, sorry, in between Reese and Night Owl. It's Shorts. Things are heating up, and time is ticking. It was a Ferrari who won this race last time we were here in Tier 2. But this time, the Ferrari may get P2 down the straight. And into the corner. Lennon has it. Lennon, a little moment on the curb, though. Lennon does take over P2, but they are losing themselves time to Torn Penguin, who is the leader of the Grand Prix. Night Owl cuts in front of Shorts, takes P7. And Tokyo's on the softs. I don't know if these tires were the right choice, but she should get to the end. Now it's just, can you get to the end with your tires wearing and falling off a cliff? That will be the problem. 4 seconds now, the gap. That gap has come down a little bit. I think Torn Penguin probably in conservative mode. I just think you have to be at this stage of the race. Especially with the DRS train ready to pounce. 3.9 seconds the gap. Remember, Mercedes, they've won the last 2 times at round 6, but Lennon won round 6 last season. Penguin, who won round 5 last season, won round 4 this season. Can we see a repeat in terms of how the table has been turned? I don't know, but it's only time will tell. Short's still in DRS pursuit of Night Owl, but Reese is closing in on Zakaria. I don't think this is over for Reese. I mean, whether that's a podium or a win, I don't know, but 7-lap fresher medium compound tires. And remember, the chance of a safety car around the circuit is extremely high. Lyra Fusion in the slipstream of Lennon, just gonna stay in line. Beatnik as well in this V-Carb. V-Carb have not had a podium in a while, I'm pretty sure. You could put them on the podium. He just had his first Tier 3 podium yesterday. Shorts re-overtakes Night Owl to reclaim P7. Mintoki fastest lap. Lennon now under threat, and Lyra Fusion sweeps back in front at the braking zone to claim back P2. 4.4 seconds that gap compared to it being 4.0 earlier. So, I mean, I would hope the medium runners have figured out a plan to make it to the end here, but if they don't, well, Zakaria sitting in P5. We could talk about him all day. Has damage, but has kept his own. I mean, he had a big wiggle right there, but who cares, right? 4.2 seconds that gap. And if they do have something figured out to make it to the end here, I mean, yeah, their tires are going to fall off the cliff, but does it matter for Zakaria to get a podium here? Will he be in the next spot to take advantage? I don't know. I don't know how long mediums go here, but I could tell you, there's a reason Reese waited to pit. These guys pitted onto the lap 7 safety car, I'm pretty sure. Lap 8 safety car. Well, still, even if they make it to the end, you're risking a puncture. And 4.1 seconds is the deficit between 1 and 2 right now. Torn Penguin, if he gets a puncture or is falling off a cliff in his tires later on, I mean, he's at least in the best spot. These guys 2nd to 4th, they're not in the best of spots. Speaking of spots, 7th place is about to get contested. And it's Shorts who has it, Night Owl who wants it, and Night Owl attacks, and Night Owl goes through. Shorts couldn't protect the place. Do we see another fastest lap? Yes, we do. 39.7 this time from Night Owl. I'm very curious as to what the guys in 2nd and 3rd are running in terms of lap time. So that was a 39.7. This is a 41.8. So yeah, I mean, Shorts, Reese, Night Owl, they're closing in on these guys. Is it too little too late? Maybe. But if Reese and Night Owl get there, I'm going to assume it's going to be by probably lap 25, 26. It all depends on what this DRS train does, but you know who's not under threat from all this? Torn Penguin. He could just go out in the distance, but you just don't know. It's Baku. You don't want to hit the walls with just a few to go. And we know that can happen. It happened with Korsman in the Tier 1 race. Holding his own, out in the distance, crashed into that barrier in the castle section. Zakaria right now, running in P5, would be getting a better finish than what he would be getting, it's safe to say. And he still could be getting P5 if some of these front runners do inherit punctures, but again, risk for that, whether it happens, I don't know. The game is quite inconsistent on it, but like we said, there is a possibility. And if you're wondering how to join, we have links on our YouTube, Twitch, and all of our social medias. The same name, RPL Formula 1. Lennon, he's not going through, but I don't really know what the game plan is here for Beatnik as well. He's waiting in the wings, but do you want to be? Look at this. Race Dainty in DRS pursuit of Zakaria. Night Owl. Oh, Reese is clunking the wall there. Zakaria pulling out as well. I think to maybe let Reese go, he will. But how does this affect Night Owl, who's in DRS of Reese? Shorts there as well to pounce. Is Zakaria gonna play the almighty team game here for Reese? I mean, but he's also got a race to run himself. He's trying to hold 6th place. And as we said, if there are punctures that come up later on, it could be better. Or it could still be 6 as he gets overtaken potentially later on. Zakaria had a big slide there, but keeps going. 5.3 now the gap. Torn Penguin has won twice before, Austria and Miami. He's won in some odd circumstances, but I would not be surprised to see it happen again. Big moment from Zakaria. Night Owl out of DRS on Reese, but so is Zakaria. I do think this was the right call from Zakaria, but the only problem for Zakaria, though, is he's kept damage the whole entire race. That's another argument. What could have been there? And Reese is clawing in these guys in DRS for P2. He's on fresher rubber, but has used up his tires trying to get past Isha and others. Look at this. Down the main straight. Almost 3 abreast. Shorts trying to pick his line. Night Owl 2. Lennon back into P2. With just a few laps remaining. Almost a moment from Fusion. Now Beanick moving around there to try to find the racing line once again. Beanick in pursuit of Lyra Fusion. 4.2 seconds Reese's next target is. And Night Owl, although he overtook Zakaria down that main straight, he used a lot of battery, and he's back in DRS range of Reese Dainty. And our top 2 in the championship right now, just like Miami, are not going to be winning this race unless something catastrophic changes it. And this would be the last lap to have a safety car on, if you're going to have one. 5.9 seconds, the difference. Torn Penguin is holding his own. But I do have to wonder, what are those tires looking like? Lennon's on the overtake button, using it all. Lyra Fusion backed up right there, 40% in the battery. Reese Dainty's closed the gap, 2.8 seconds. He is there. Like I said, if this is going to be a battle for the podium, it's going to be on lap 25 or 26. He might get there by the end of lap 24. Zakaria still holding his own. Shorts in DRS range. Remember, Shorts is not going to win this race, but for all we know, did he keep it in the white lines earlier on, getting under the pit lane? Could be something said about that. Mintoki on softs. Had that collision with Zakaria. Now Night Owl trying to breeze by Reese, and he does. Reese pulls back in line. Three laps to go now. Beatnik, just like Japan, has a podium in front of his eyes, and Lennon as well has not been on the podium in quite a while. Lennon, in terms of his last Ferrari podium, go back to season 10 or 11, I want to say. This Ferrari start to this season has been dreadful for Lennon. I mean, although he's going to be beaten by the second Red Bull today, a podium is all Lennon could be asking for. P6 is his best finish this season. Lyra Fusion, last season's Tier 3 champion. Trying to hold on for dear life. He sees what's coming in his mirror. Beatnik is in P4. Holding his own, but similar to Japan. Going to be under pressure here. You cannot fold under the pressure. And you know what? That was the case for him in Japan. That was the case for him in Monza for Tier 3 with Leon. Wavy Knife takes back the last point spot on track. He would have had it regardless of the penalties, but we're going to 2 laps to go this time. Lennon is reeling in Penguin, but does it matter? The only thing I'm worried about is what car is worse compared to the others on tire wear. And if you get a puncture, you better be hoping you don't get a puncture in this section right here. It's the worst place to get one. And even then, they've stretched out these mediums quite a long way. Some of these guys can just take it very easy to the finish, like Torn Penguin. But if you're Lennon in these DRS trains, you cannot. Look at Reese Dainty defending from F1 Shorts. Down the main straight, Shorts got him. Now, Beatnik re-inherits another place. He's in P3. Now trying to protect the outside line on Fusion. Fusion's back past with 2 laps to go. And Reese Dainty, as well as F1 Shorts, is there in the fight. Night Owl, our first car on better, fresher mediums in DRS. Remember, Night Owl pitted 3 laps later than Reese. So he has the fresher rubber, and he's there all over Beatnik. I think Beatnik will only be hoping that the only car that could pass him here is Night Owl in terms of the better medium runners. Because if that is the case, he still could get Fusion and Lennon. Look at Night Owl ducking out. This is going to be quite the race for our podium. All the way from 2nd to 7th deciding this finish. And it's not over yet, folks. We have that main straight, which decided so many finishes in the past year, whether it's a point spot, a race victory, a podium, and we're about to have another tasty one tonight. By the way, I know he didn't finish as well in the sprint, but Torn Penguin in it tonight was only 42 points back in the championship. Game on, maybe? I don't know. He's making a case for it. Night Owl all over the back of Beatnik now. As we enter the final lap, Isha crash in the barrier. That's not going to matter for our point spots, but Night Owl through on 1 and now 2. Night Owl's really putting the challenge up. Look at this. On the inside of Lennon, side by side with Fusion, pinching Fusion, and Fusion has to back out. Now Beatnik there for company. On the inside line, side by side exiting turn 2, 3 abreast. Look at Beatnik caught in the McLaren sandwich right here. Shorts backed out. Now, as Beatnik may get P4 here, can they go get Lennon when Night Owl gets him? 2 by 2, 2 rows deep. And crash! Fusion shut the door! And Lennon gives Night Owl P2. Reese just got P6. And a slide! Fusion's in the wall. The only thing Torn Penguin is hoping not to get is a puncture right here. Zakaria penalty. That's not going to get him any places here because he's trying to get Mintoki. Still a lot to play for. Look at this DRS straight coming up. We'll see if any games are played. He has played it cool, calm, and collected once again. For the 3rd time, he's going to stand on the top step of the podium. Torn Penguin is victorious in Baku. Night Owl is 2nd, and to the line, 3 wide. A photo finish. Lennon is 3rd. His first podium back with Ferrari. Night Owl got 2nd, and Reese Dainty just held on for 4th in the end. F1 Shorts, P5. Beatnik, P6. Lyral Fusion, P7. Mintoki, P8. Zakaria, P9. And Wavy Knife, P10. Torn Penguin wins the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. He has done it once again. Wavy Knife crosses to be our last one across the line for points. Isha, 11th. The driver from Bosnia wins his 3rd RPL Tier 2 race. Night Owl driver of the day from the game. I think you either got to give it to any of our top 3. And personally, although Lennon had the bad sprint, Night Owl had the bad qualifying, I'm giving it to this guy, Torn Penguin, winning again. Ferrari double podium for the first time this season. Fair play to them, especially with the constructors on the line and with Red Bull winning the race. It's what they just needed. And Lennon, first podium this season. In fact, it's Lennon's first podium since round 6 last season with his win in Singapore. He ended a season drought. So here's your total points score from the weekend. Because of these points scored, look at this. Torn Penguin, 40 points back from the championship lead, but also closer to Reese Dainty. 11 drivers throughout the course of the weekend scored points results, whether it be from the race or the sprint. Here's your full results. Beatnik in P6, a really good day for the V-Carb driver. I think that's his best Tier 2 result since returning, I believe. Nadal, Lennon, Reese, Shorts, top 5s for them. Penalties to 2 drivers in this race. We lost 2 from the event. Torn Penguin, the winner in Azerbaijan. And driver of the day as well. I would give driver of the day to him. I think Beatnik's a good candidate for second. I think you got probably Night Owl, another candidate, Lennon. Lennon finally back on the podium with Ferrari. Night Owl, another podium to his name. Extending the championship lead, I believe, too. But we'll end off the weekend tomorrow for Formula 1 Tier 1 in Portimao. I'll be on comms with Titan Ironwolf for that. Catch us for the 16th round of the season. We'll see if Jack Miles wins on birthday weekend. And Tier 2 next week is at Belgium. Remember, if you are a part of the US, our clocks change this weekend. And that's going to mean a 4-hour difference. With that being said, our races starting next week until Europe changes their clocks will be within a 4-hour difference of the UK and a 5-hour difference of other countries that are usually 6 hours ahead. This is Eastern time, and so on and so forth. But nonetheless, I'm your commentator, Ryan Searles. I'll be signing off, but like I said, folks, I have an announcement to make later tonight. I'll be doing that on Instagram in terms of my future. And I think it's time to say goodnight. We'll see you tomorrow for Tier 1 or next Friday for Tier 2. Good night and goodbye. We'll see you then.